Hello, I'm PLC, and I'm better at LEGO than I think the LEGO group because I'm going to do something that they're too much of a coward to do. A 90 years of play for the holiday seasons of 2022 CMF figure draft representing all of their minifigures. Unfortunately, I don't have the resources of the LEGO group, so I'm going to be using all pre-existing minifigures, especially ones that I own, so they're not maybe the best condition, but I think that the scuffs and stuff would be great touches to be printed on them if you were going to be doing one as the LEGO group, because you have that ability. I also didn't include any licensed ones. I think that licensed figures, Star Wars and Harry Potter especially, have a huge place in the 90 years of play, but I decided to skip them for my own draft. Now, the only other thing to note is that some of these do not have accessories, and I would love to hear your idea for what accessories I think that they should have. And that's pretty much it. If you disagree with one, let me know. If you really think that one should have been there, say that too. It's all gravy. Let's start. Skip to the end if you want to see all of them and don't want to wait for the one by one. First up, I start with an absolute classic. I did group these kind of by year, so they're kind of in year release order. But I started with the yellow smile, the blue spaceman, and of course mine does not have the gold on his emblem anymore. He's also got a crack. Can you see that right there? It's starting to form. And he's got scuffs all over him, unfortunately. He's also got like a really scuffed up face with the classic full-on LEGO logo on top. But I think that adds to it. I think that would be a perfect way to do it. Mine's, of course, a little bit dusty and a little bit bent. But it's kind of, that would literally could just be Benny from the, LEGO movie, and I think that would be literally perfect if it was just a reprint of Benny with the classic smile, maybe not Benny's smile. Next up, I have the Town Mayor, and I really like this guy. I gave him an accessory of the green $100 piece, and I'm not 100% sure if he would have had red hips. I think he would have just had black hips and black pants, but it's a classic figure, and I like that this man has got very simple printing. He's got a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow. That's it. That's all he needs. No back printing, no nothing else fancy with him, but I think that he would be a fun one. Maybe you give him something else as an accessory, perhaps a little build, and he would be absolutely perfect. But I think he adds a lot to the classic era. Kind of, right? Next up, an actual classic, and again, it's holidays, so I went with Classic Santa. Now, Classic Santa has no printing on his body or legs, and you could add just a little bit, I think. You could add maybe a belt and some buttons, and I think that would be appropriate. I did give him an updated letter piece instead of just a white tile, but then the other one is that here is a sack, and perhaps you print toys or something on that if you had all the resources in the world. He uses the pirate bandana, and he uses the wizard beard, and I think that he's a perfectly fine addition to a list like this because he is literally, just a classic figure, and they always try to do some kind of holiday stuff, don't they? Slightly unrelated to holiday, but pulling it in is I would go with the Gray Forestman. Now, this one's technically not a figure that was ever produced as such, but we did get the gray hat recently, and we've gotten all the parts in gray to create your classic Forestman. No prints or anything on the back, nothing special with that. Perhaps you do just give him a bow. Maybe you do. Maybe you give him a bow and an arrow, and he's very happy. But I think that this one here is very nice because of the inclusion of the tree. And again, infinite resources. I would probably go ahead and get rid of the dark green color, and I would give it perhaps an orange color. That would be kind of dying, though, wouldn't it? Because it's an evergreen. I don't know. Some other color, perhaps. Maybe a new green color. Just make it exclusive for this. Do a marbled one. Hell yeah. Do a marbled one. I think they did one with snow on it right before. That would be fun. Next up, okay, so this is a slight issue. I kind of wanted to do like the heroes and villains thing that they like to do, or like two matching ones when they do a CMF. So I did go ahead with a Black Falcon Spearman. Now this one's from the Black Falcon Fortress, and he's just got the brown spear, and he's got the normal little helmet, and I think he's in very good condition considering how old this man is. And I did play with him as a child. He's got a little bit of dust on him, but I think that the most printing you could do potentially is print dust and scuffs on these figures, and I think that would add so much to the look of a lot of these figures. But that one kind of matches up with the Forestman, but also, like, I could literally have just made all 12 of these figures castle figures because there's so many different castle figures that I enjoy personally, but I know that that's not what we would do. So I did try to limit it just a little bit to the ones of that. Now the next one, okay. So this one, okay, a little bit of a lie. It's the Coca-Cola Soccer Man. Now, I know what you're saying. You said no licensed, and yeah, I did, but I think that it would be really cool if we could get like a reprint of something like this. I know that we're not going to get Shell as a reprint figure, but he's classic as hell. He's got the Coca-Cola logo printed on there. Give us something, because licensing obviously is a big part of Lego, but it doesn't have to be Star Wars or, Avatar or Way of the Water. It can literally just be a brand that they did a deal with. Maybe one of those window brands that they did from Europe. I don't know. And again, he's got no printing for a number on the back. They came with stickers originally, but add a year. Add 22 on the back there. I think that would make this slightly, unique. And then also a lot of fun. I think you could add that to most of these figures, especially seeing as these ones are all older figures where they don't have back prints. So go ahead and give me some kind of back print for a year or 90 years of play or something, maybe. Hell, give me that on the CMF base. If the CMF base had a 90 years of play on it, that would be really fun. So this next one is another. Okay. So this is the Rocket Racer from the Stunts line, and I think that this is a pretty faithful adaptation of how you would redo a figure. And seeing as we never got the original Rocket Racer, give me that just straight up printed. But I think that this is a fun one. The updated one would be just fine, and people would be like, well, I could have just done... Yeah, okay, sure. But, it's still a lot of... Lego video games are a huge part of their, 90 years of play. To me, at least. I don't know about you, but I played lots of Lego video games, and I think that one of the spots should go to one of those. So I went ahead with Rocket Racer. These two both don't have accessories per se. So maybe a soccer ball for him and give him, a steering wheel. Doesn't feel quite right to give Rocket Racer that, but, tell me what you think. Okay, so I just looked over to the pile where I'm pulling these from, and this one I'm super excited about because it's the skeleton. Now, I know that they wouldn't give us the floppy arm skeleton, don't get me wrong, but giving us, just a classic spooky skeleton boy. Mine's got a little bit of damage on the teeth, but I think, again, you could add some, scuffs if you did a printed skeleton arm to show, dirt or something. Wowee, that would be just aces. I also gave him the little gargoyle, the little gray dragon. I don't think that dragon's in print still, so I think that they probably wouldn't do that, but give him something like that, maybe a little tombstone build. I think that adds a lot to that figure, because he's otherwise, what do you give him? I guess you could give him, a collection of, different things, from adventures, perhaps something mummy related. You could give him something castle related. You could also just, give him an Ninjago related one, but So... okay, so the next one up, I didn't want to just pull all CMF figures, because I think CMF figures are all really, really strong representatives of their year and their time. But I did do a gamer, because I think gamers are the most unrepresented class of people in the world. I did give him the Ninjago controller, and I think the Ninjago controller is just a cooler looking controller. Yeah, the printed ones are fine. I don't have a real issue with that. But I think this just looks a lot cooler. Perhaps give him some kind of cable piece so it can be plugged in. Give him a little build for a little Xbox X. You give him a little brick with a little printed something on it. I think that adds a lot. Again, I don't know if you go with the exact same print as the original CMF Gamer Man, but I think that it's a strong choice. He does, of course, have back printing, and I think he's got the extra face. Yeah, he does. And, as you get more and more into the future, I don't think that it's a problem having these figures be released with more updated designs. That's how they would have been, because that's part of the legacy, huh? So this is the first of two of the second set of hero and villains, quote unquote, but I went with the Red Ninja Man. Kai is I don't know what this suit is, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if this is a particularly influential suit. It does have the second face, and it is the post Ninjago movie faces, which I think is very good. Maybe you give him a golden weapon, maybe you give him a red sword, maybe you give him an all-new molded sword. Hell, let's go all out. But I went ahead and did Ninjago, because I think Ninjago adds a lot to the play, and it's got to be the longest running action theme, right? Am I wrong on that? Tell me what other accessories to give that man. maybe you could do a spinner, but the spinners are always so big that I don't think you could fit those into a CMF style bag. Now, I did go with an enemy, and this one is a snake, and this one's not maybe the most representatory, but I think that this is, for my money, the best detailed new style snake we've got. He's got so much going on here. I believe this is dual molded head, and it is just a headpiece. It goes onto a regular minifigure body, but it changes the shape so much of the figure. It just adds a lot. I think the printing on this is very, very nice. You do have the back printing. It's okay. So I always say this. I think simple prints are beautiful. Like this one's literally like one black line, one yellow V, and the Coca-Cola logo. Mwah, chef's kiss, right? But I can appreciate the artistic value of all of this detail that they were able to cram into this figure, and I think that adds just a really nice kind of balance. Again, we're kind of getting, one little logo, kind of a full body. This one's getting, all kinds of little accessories, and then we're getting up and up and up, and we're going to go on and on. So I think that adding that one, of course, I did give him the gun. That's the actual shitty gun for him to fight Kai, but he's the opposite of Kai, and I think that Ninjago getting 2 of the 12 spots is a lot, but I think that it's a really big part of the 90 years of play. And that brings us to the last one. And now this one's going to be the most controversial, so go ahead and tell me if you agree or not. But LLAMA, Llama, DJ Llama, from the video line. And I think that he deserves the spot because they tried so hard to make him a thing. And I think after the death of video that he deserves this. I do think that you go ahead, if you are Lego, you give him a new print for everything. Give him a new glasses design, maybe a different smirk, something. I don't know if you give him the same color outfit even. I think you just give him an all new outfit. I gave him the maracas. I didn't give him the skates to keep him unique, but you could just easily just reprint the thing whole and just be done. Or you could go ahead and give him I kind of picture this one being like him in a retirement. That would be so nice to have him just in like a little bit more casual clothes and maybe no musical instrument. Give him like a coffee cup or some kind of, drink for by the beach. And I think that would be plenty. And I think he deserves this last spot because, and again, this isn't like 2022 is the year of video, but I think that he deserves to be included because video was, again, it's kind of a part of the video game, it's the app integration, but it's like there's a feeling that theme had that although I don't think it was executed properly, and I think the app was pretty rough, and I don't agree with some of the character choices necessarily and putting them in boxes and blah, 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 but you can't deny that it felt Lego-y at some point, and I think that earns this man one last final spot in my CMF draft. So that is all of my figures that I would pick. Of course, I would love to know what you would pick, and tell me some stuff. I do also want to thank all the channel members. This is the part of the video where I say thank you for them. They've been waiting a long time for this video, I know. That's Galcio, SPC Cheeseburger, Crystal J, Dion B, and God of Grunts. Thanks. Everyone else has been too, I guess. There is a subscribe button on the screen. There is a video that I handpicked and a video that a robot picked. Try and guess which one it is by clicking on them and watching the video. Happy holidays and all that. Merry Christmas. I'm going to see you guys later. See you guys in a little bit. Support your local Lego channel.